So The Black Phone is a supernatural horror film directed by Scott Derickson. He of the sinister Doctor Strange and this movie fame. Yeah, it's based on a short story by Joe Hill, aka Stephen King's son, so you know it's going to be some form of quality. It's set in a quiet Denver suburb in the late 1970s, and the story revolves around a young boy named Finney who finds himself kidnapped by a sadistic child killer known as the Grabber. And he's played by Ethan Hawke in an absolutely amazing performance. Like, I know Ethan Hawke apparently hates playing villains, but like, you may need to keep doing it because you're pretty damn sick. But yeah, let's get into the review. So the film opens with a mysterious kidnapping. Pretty much this kid who was playing baseball with our lead Finney, well, he bloody disappears. Yeah, he gets kidnapped by the Grabber. Pretty much a van drives over to him, and then it fades to black, and then it's kind of obvious what happens. You know, there are some things in movies which I dislike. One of those is, like, SA. Another one of those is any form of, like, child murder or, like, animal murder. One of those happens in this movie, thankfully not the others. But yeah, so Finney, he's a quiet, I believe he's either 13 or 15, I can't specifically remember if they said it in the movie, but he lives with his younger sister Gwen, and their abusive, alcoholic, dickhead father, who is just a douche. And yeah, Gwen, she's interested in everything. She's had disturbing dreams related to the kidnappings, which she believes are clues to the missing boys. She frequently prays to God to, like, give her, like, visions that might help her with them. And one afternoon, Finney encounters the Grabber on his way home from school, disguised as a friendly, bumbling, magician. He's a cool guy. He's got white face paint. Jesus Christ. I might be the Grabber. I wore white face paint the other day. But yeah, he's got white face paint and a black van, so you know he's a bit of a weirdo. So he tricks Finney, and he abducts him. So he takes him to a soundproof basement, which reminds me way too much of, like, a mix of the basement thing from Martyrs, the bathroom from Saw, and just a torture room from Hostel put into one. Thankfully, there ain't just a chair and a table around him, or else my boy Finney may be screwed. But yeah, so the room is pretty much barren except for a dirty mattress, a small window too high to reach, and a disconnected black rotary phone mounted onto the wall, which, despite being cut off from the outside world, the phone will occasionally ring. And, the Grabber tells him, oh, it's just static electricity. There's nothing to worry about, Like, I sometimes pick it up. I'm not completely loony. There's nothing there. So yeah, to Finney's absolute shock, the voices on the other end belong to the previous victims of the Grabber, and these voices, which only Finney can hear, offer warnings and a way to help him escape from the Grabber. And hopefully they work. But yeah, as I said, he can only hear them, which I do find kind of confusing. Like, could the other boys hear it, or is this only a Finney kind of thing? But yeah, so each call, it reveals more about the other boys' failed escapes. Bruce, who is Bruce from the opening, he tells Finney, whack him, pretty much. Your arm is mint, bro. Just use that. Yeah, that's like the thing that he told him in the opening. And like, yeah, as it goes along, he talks to more of the boys. Some of them he knew, some he didn't really know. One of them was his best mate, so I can only imagine how that is. Yeah, I think his name was like Robin Ariano. Yeah, that was it. And like, well, let's go outside of the basement for a bit. Outside the basement, Gwen, who has been plagued with these dreams, she sees more disturbing images connected to Finney's whereabouts in her dreams. She sees some visions of the other boys and glimpses of where Finney is trapped. She believes that, she can be guided to Finney through her dreams. But yeah, she ultimately does find the location of the Grabber's lair, but to her shock, it's a house that looks exactly like it, but it's not the right house. That one's completely empty. There's nothing there except bodies. That's his little dumping ground, pretty much. But yeah, the Grabber's cruel game continues as he tries to pretty much torment Finney. He sets sort of like traps to test his obedience to him. So like, he'll leave the door open and then he'll sit at the top of like the stairs with like his belt, just waiting for Finney to come up the stairs to beat him. Which, like, Jesus Christ. But also, like, he was literally just told that, and he still tries walking up the stairs. At that point, I would have been like, yep, alright, I'm gonna die, but I'm definitely not walking up the stairs. But yeah, so back in the basement, Finney uses everything he's learnt from the black phone calls to make a final stand against the grabber. He pretty much lures him into a trap by falling down to the floor, and then he whacks him over the head a few times with the phone. And then he tricks the dog that the grabber has by giving him some food, which, like, yeah, that's a genius idea. I'm pretty sure if my dog was, like, assisting in serial killer murders, the easiest way to get her away is literally just offer her food or offer her a scratch, because that's the two things she loves the most. But yeah, the film ends with Finney getting out of the basement and embracing Gwen, and then their dad appears. I still hate the dad, but like he's just sort of like crying, like, please forgive me. I don't forgive him. No, like they're making a sequel to this. Don't forgive him, guys. All right, don't forgive him. But yeah, so this movie definitely blends like some good supernatural elements with some psychological horror. It creates definitely a different atmosphere from some of Scott Derickson's other films. I forgot his name for a second. The Grabber is probably one of my favourite performances from Ethan Hawke, besides maybe his character in The Purge, and also just, you know, the dad in Sinister. I like how they're able to work together and things, and I also love the designs in this movie too. Tom Savini, I believe, made the mask, which is sick, because he is a horror legend. And yeah, Mason Thames was really good as Finney. He delivered a pretty good performance, especially since I believe it was one of his first few performances. Madeline McGraw was great as Gwen. I think that definitely was her first performance. She brings some humour to it, especially in like a dark story, when she's just pretty much just cursing out like the police officers, her dad, and the principal. It's really funny. And yeah, her and Mason Thames have a good bond together. They have good chemistry in this movie too. And Derickson's direction is really good as well. It builds some good suspense, while also just having some subtle nods to some classic horror with a fresh approach as well. It's also not going too over the top with any gore. It really doesn't have much gore besides from like 1 or 2 kills, which I believe was like his brother, where he whacks him over the head. And yeah, ultimately it's a pretty good original horror movie, and you know, I'm excited to see where they go with the sequel. I'm still unsure how they're gonna do that, because the grabber sort of dies. So is he gonna be a ghost? Is it gonna be like a prequel? Because I'm pretty sure Mason Thames is coming back for that one. So is that gonna be like a copycat killer or something, or is he just gonna be a ghost? Maybe he survived. You never know. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I give this movie like a solid 8 out of 10. It's a great movie. I forced my dad to watch it not long ago. Even he liked it, and he hates horror movies. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'll see you all next time.